All right, what's up, boys? I'm back with your favorite order flow series, the best trade of the day. Today, I got two trades for you. I didn't take either of them. I'll show you the trade that I did take. It was valid, but there was one thing about it that wasn't the best, but it was had a strong thesis, had an area of interest, and my risk was clear and defined. But I'll show you guys that after I show you the valid trades of the day that I did not take. And I'll also explain to you why I didn't take them. Starting off with my plan for the day. To play long, I would want to see a strong break above 310 to 315 to take a continuation setup up to the supply at 330. I did not really have a good interest, or I didn't have a good level to play short, but my other long scenario was if we could pull back to that 93 level, then I would want to target. And that was yesterday's resistance level, and it was Friday's close as well. This is basically where price could not break through yesterday. This is where we got two pretty good reactions yesterday that caused the sell-off. So as long as we were above that, I was on the higher time frame. We bounced off the low of the value, a balance range low from yesterday. So I am looking for long opportunities, to put it simply. Now, right before the session opened, what I did notice was this 1 hour demand that actually formed. I'll pull this over here. All right, so this is the hourly chart. This is what I marked out pretty much right after I developed that plan, because I noticed that we had this little demand zone on the 1 hour chart. So that was from 302.50 down to 97. So I kind of amended my plan a little bit before the open, and this was another area I wanted to get long off of to target the supply area at 330. So all of my long thesis, every long thesis I had, I'm targeting the supply zone at 330. That's my target of the day. And beyond that, all-time highs, but my first target was 330. So that was my plan for the day. Overall, I'm looking for longs, and that actually turned out to be the right thing to do. But first setup of the day, we came down to this demand zone I had marked out on the hourly right here. And this is what it looks like on bookmap. So this is us down here on bookmap. We couldn't fill all these orders at 302, immediately had some aggressive buying. Following this bounce off the demand right here, we get a CVD divergence, and this is what, like, every strong upward trend day, it seems to have the same situation, the same thing kind of happens right off the open. And that is, like, you guys have seen this setup. I've mentioned it to you so many times at this point, probably at least 3 or 4 times just in the last like month and a half. We've had this exact thing happen. It's basically, it's not the exact same every time, but we get the bounce off the demand level, and then after that happens, all the aggression that comes into the market gets absorbed by passive buyers. You can see that by looking at the CVD trending down, prices moving sideways. I did not take this long, and I was about to. I had my finger on the trigger, and I didn't want to take it long because I was just unsure about it. And in hindsight, I've seen this happen so many times that maybe, like, I could have waited for this to happen where we kind of break out, get some aggression, and then confirm it. This ideally probably would have been the better setup, long off 307. So this was a fantastic setup today, if you ask me, that I should have absolutely taken. And once again, the same thing happens. You get that absorption after the open, and then the impulse creates the LVN, which is exactly what happened. So this is the real setup that I was looking for today. This was the real trade that I was trying to take. I did not take it once again because what I wanted was a pullback that was deeper into this LVN, and I believe it was down to like 312 maybe. There were some orders down here. I wanted a deeper pullback than this. I didn't get the pullback that I wanted, and it looks like it held, but this is actually just my key level. The real LVN was right below 15, so we barely tapped into it. And if you guys look to the right here, you can see we were getting some ridiculous delta anomaly that came in. And on the footprint chart, it looks like this. So there was a ton of buying delta here, and then the selling delta that did come in obviously held right at 315. So this was anomalous activity. This is what I would call significant behavior. I did not take it long because, like I said, I wanted a deeper pullback. So once again, I was unsure, and when I'm unsure, I would rather just not take the trade that I'm not confident in, because I'm not trying to make it a habit to take trades that I'm unsure of, right? So whatever, didn't get the confirmation or didn't get the pullback that I wanted to take for a continuation setup. But honestly, it's not even a big deal because I would have been long off of like 13, 14, targeting 30. Maybe I would have been able to get 10 points out of it, but it would have came back on me for break even anyway. This first one off the open was obviously the better trade to take. You would have gotten a full TP on that one, probably all the way up to 15 points, which is a fantastic number on like a 2 to 3 point risk. Would have stopped out break even. At least I would have absolutely stopped out break even if I took this at 315 or even 314. Let me show you guys the trade that I did take. And since this level developed from 15 to 16, this was the most important area on the session, in my opinion. And after we broke below it, I was very hesitant to take the market long since we broke below that. A very significant level to me. And this was the level I played off of. I took it short. The one thing that I said that had against me was the context of the higher time frame. So what you see here is this buying get absorbed. Let me pull it up. So all this buying, whenever we come up into that level from 15 to 16, is getting absorbed. We fill some more offers. We can't remain above these offers that we fill right here. This is where I took it short, right at 16. I believe my entry was 1625. So my thesis on this trade was buyers are getting absorbed right at that area where we had significant activity from earlier. Sellers stepped in and took control after filling these bids right here and remaining below them. So I took it short. And I was targeting down to 300. I was targeting down to 305. This is my final target on the trade. I was willing to hold some runners down to 300, but my entry was at 16. And it looked good at first, but we came back. We filled these bids right here and did not remain below them. Had some buying take us back up to my entry, and I stopped out for break even. I stopped out for a very small loss on that trade because I wanted to invalidate it right at 17, something like that. So I took a $150 loss on 3 contracts. That's like 1 point, I think. So I stopped out for 1 point in the negative. And that was the trade I took. Like I said, I had a location, I had confirmation, and my risk was very clear. So the trade wasn't bad in that sense, but it definitely was against the higher time frame. The reason why I wanted to take it short was again because we broke below that 15, 16 level, which I just basically, once we broke below that, I lost confidence in longs. Maybe that was my mistake because clearly this was a good long trade. And if I pull up the footprint again for you guys, I don't know if I pulled it up for my short, but this is where I took it short. This was right where I took it short, right around 16. It was this absorption, and this last guy right here. And then as soon as this selling stepped in, this is where I took it short. But in hindsight, this actually could have been a good long. You got that positive 633 delta from earlier, and then you can see volume tapers off as we come into that. So this is honestly a decent long, but is what it is. I just hated the fact that this 15-16 broke, so that's what made me very hesitant to take it long and switch to short, honestly. On top of that, this would have been like an inverse LVN setup for a short right here. So I mean, I had a good reason to take the short. It just wasn't aligned with the higher time frame, and that's something you should probably, not something you have to like, not saying you can never fade the higher time frame, but like obviously it's gonna be higher probability if you're with the higher time frame. So it's whatever. I'm not unhappy with it at all. I patiently waited all day for a setup definitely missed this one. Definitely missed this one because my finger was on the trigger and I knew exactly what I was seeing right here. So this one actually would have been worth taking, but it is what it is. I mean, hindsight is 2020. What can you say? So that was my read on the market. That was what I was looking for. That's what I saw. And although it didn't really result in the best day in terms of P&L, I'm honestly not too upset with what happened today. If you guys like these videos, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Obviously, like the video, and the link to the Discord is in the description. Go check that out if you want to meet some other order flow traders.